It's been almost 2 years since Mark first went backpacking in the Philippines. At the time, I thought it strange that he insisted he go on his own, but according to him, he wanted some time with his thoughts and needed to find himself. I can't help but think, if someone would have gone with him, we wouldn't be in the situation we are now. It all started about 5 days after Mark's arrival to the Philippines, when I decided to send him a text message, asking him how he was getting on and jokingly asking if he had found himself yet. When I got no response, I just shrugged it off as him being too busy to answer me and went about the day. This cycle of me messaging Mark and subsequently getting no response carried on for about 3 weeks before I started to get worried. It wasn't even like he was reading my messages and choosing to ignore them either. They just weren't reaching his phone. Like I said, it had been roughly 3 weeks since Mark had left for the Philippines, so the obvious solution was to file a missing persons report if I was worried. I went down to my local police station and laid out the whole situation to them, all the while anxiety building up inside me. Despite him being on the other side of the world and not having any evidence for him actually being lost, authorities out in the Philippines were set to send out a search party across the mountain range if I didn't hear from him in the next few days. Believe it or not, I did hear from him in the next few days. However, it wasn't in the way that I'd hoped. A few days after filing the missing persons report at the police station, I was awoken late one night by my phone buzzing. It was a text message. Groggily, I rolled over and picked up my phone, wincing at the bright light it emanated, which my eyes were not accustomed to. When my eyes had finally adjusted to the light, I was able to see that the message was one from Mark. Immediately, I shot up in bed, scrambling to read what my friend had sent me. Ha ha ha, very funny, Chris. I haven't found myself quite yet, but I'll make sure to let you know when I do, is all that the message read. I was in the middle of crafting out a reply, berating him on how slow he is to respond and how I thought he'd gone missing, when another message came through. Brilliant, I thought. Typical Mark. 3 weeks without any contact, and then he decides to send 2 messages at once. Before I could finish my train of thought, let alone look at the new message, a barrage of new messages came through on my phone. They were all from Mark. Now, I'm not going to type out every message, as it would make this post unnecessarily long. But I will, however, share with you the one that led me to write this out in the first place. The majority of the messages I received were mundane, general conversation starters, until I stumbled across the start of the final message. It simply began with the words, "Send help." Upon seeing this, the same anxiety that I had felt in the police station started to form in the pit of my stomach. I was hesitant to keep reading, but I knew I had to for the sake of my friend. This is the rest of the message. Chris, I think it's finally found me. It's been stalking me for hours. It looks like a human, but it's disgustingly thin, hairless, and has unnaturally pointed ears. Oh God, its eyes. I can feel its glowing red stare fixed on me right now. Chris, if this is the last message you receive from me, tell my family that I love them. This was all the motivation I needed to jump out of bed and into my car and speed to the police station. I burst through the door, frantically waving my phone in the faces of the officers at the front desk, tears streaming down my face. After the officers managed to calm me down, I explained the situation and showed them the messages on my phone. Eventually, we theorized that the reason Mark's messages had all come through at once was due to bad signal. It was agreed that a search party would be sent to look for Mark in the following days. It was almost 2 years since Mark first went backpacking in the Philippines, when his body was discovered in a forest near the foot of Mount Kagua in the Cagayan province. Coroners deemed the cause of death as a suicide, but that doesn't explain the 4 long claw marks found on his back. I just can't help but think there's more to it. The way he described that thing in his final message to me. Maybe it was just the ramblings of a lost backpacker on the brink of insanity. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And I don't think I ever will.